Hey guys, what's going on? It's MassiveJoes Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome Raw review for the viewers at home today on one of our most popular complete high-stim pre-workout supplements from our good friends at Arms Race Nutrition. Harness in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. That nutritional information panel ain't gonna get it done. We're about to go balls deep in this here Arms Race Nutrition harness. Luckily, I've got a big ass nutritional information panel. It's popping up on screen at the moment for you guys to play along. Let's start at the top. Each and every tub, we have 40 scoops. 20 serves in a 2-scoop serve. So 40 full scoops, 2 scoops per full serve, 20 serves in each and every tub of harness. In the 20 serves, we're talking about approximately 14 grams per 2-scoop serve. Now this depends on flavor. I think the Venice Beach flavor, we'll go through flavors in a second, guys, but the Venice Beach flavor is like the lowest amount, the Bombsicle is the highest amount. The total grams per serve does vary a little bit depending on flavor. In terms of what the total grams is made up of, and just for reference, the nutritional panel that you guys are seeing is for the Venice Beach flavor. We're dealing with 10.545 grams of actives spread across 9 active ingredients, of which 3 are trademarked and patented, and we'll get into those in a second. Which means we're dealing with approximately, once again, depending on flavor, approximately 76% active ingredients, 24% flavors, sweeteners, stabilizers, no artificial colors. That is a pretty good ratio of active to non-active ingredients for a pre-workout supplement. In terms of what the ingredients are made up of, the actual formula, guys, as always, I'm not going to go into the specifics of each and every ingredient, what they do, the clinical doses, so on and so forth. I'm going to put a link in the description box down below to our supplement simplified articles, and you can go and do your own research on each and every ingredient in this harness. What I am going to talk to you guys about are the 5 effects that we look for in complete stimulant-based pre-workout supplements. Those 5 effects are muscle pumps and improved blood flow, muscle power, muscular endurance, mental focus and elevation in mood, and of course, energy in your stimulant-based complete pre-workouts. So starting with muscle pumps and improved blood flow, we have 2 ingredients in this harness that are going to support muscle pumps and improve blood flow. L-citrulline in an above clinical dose and Vinatrox in a bang-on clinical dose. So we're going to get some good synergism of the arginine nitric oxide boosting pathway with the citrulline in there, and vasodilation from the Vinatrox. So nitric oxide goes up, blood flow goes up, muscle pumps go up, vasodilation goes up. It's beautiful synergism for improved nutrient delivery in those muscle pumps. Moving on to muscle power, we have a full clinical dose of Elevate-TP, one of my personal favorite ingredients for boosting muscle power. Muscular endurance, we have a full clinical dose of beta-alanine, arguably the most proven ingredient for boosting muscular endurance. For mental focus and elevation in mood, this is where it gets very cool, guys. We have a full clinical dose of tyrosine. We have a decent dose of citicoline. It's actually about half of a full clinical, but it's in there in combination with a huge dose, an absolutely massive dose of huperzine A. So we've got some really good synergism here between elevation in mood, which is obviously tyrosine, boosting dopamine levels, making us feel all kinds of nice while we're moving that light weight like bags of feathers in the gym, combined with this boosting of mental focus, the acetylcholine boosting acetylcholine levels, and the huperzine A preventing the breakdown of those boosted acetylcholine levels. So we get this nice kind of sustained mental focus in combination with an increase in mood and feeling of well-being. And then finally, the fifth effect, obviously energy in our stimulant-based complete pre-workouts. We have an absolutely massive dose of caffeine anhydrous. Could be too much. We'll get to that in a second. Combined with Zoom XR caffeine, which is effectively extended release caffeine in quite a nice dose there. So we have, once again, some synergy here when it comes to energy as well between fast-acting caffeine, which is, of course, caffeine anhydrous, and your slow-acting caffeine or your sustained release caffeine, which is your Zoom XR. That's how Harness is ticking the 5 boxes that we look for in complete stimulant-based pre-workouts. What is it missing? On paper, it's very comprehensive, guys. We're putting massive ticks next to each and every one of those 5 effects. If we want to get picky, and we like to get picky in raw reviews, you guys know what's up, we could add some agmatine or some norvaline to the pump and blood flow blend just to prevent the breakdown of excessive nitric oxide. So we've got this boost in nitric oxide, this boost in vasodilation, which is cool and shit, but your body's gonna try and bring that back to homeostasis pretty quick. Agmatine or norvaline, the addition of one of those ingredients is just gonna sustain that for a little bit longer, allow those muscle pumps to hang around a little bit longer. Could also add some glycerol for hyperhydration of muscle cells and muscular volume, which kind of ties into muscle pumps more than anything else, and also a little bit of muscle power and muscular endurance. Could add some betaine or some peak ATP for extra muscle power if we wanted to. And then in terms of muscular endurance, could add some peak O2. Really, when we're looking at mental focus, elevation in mood and energy, they are very, very complete. There's really no need to add anything to either of those effects. In terms of how it tastes, how it mixes, guys, comes in 6 flavors. Comes in Bombsicle, comes in Venice Beach, comes in Lemon Rush, comes in Tart Candy Strings, comes in Raspberry Sorbet, and finally comes in Pineapple Mango. Before I get into the infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test, and guys, if you're wondering, I do have the double wall glass and a spoon ready to go. I do want to point out something regarding the scoop weight. Now, I have this is my personal tub actually. I'm using the Bombsicle at the moment. So I just want to point out that, once again, depending on flavor, your scoop is going to weigh around 7 to 7.5 grams, depending on which flavor you pick up. When we look at a fully level scoop, that is what a fully level scoop looks like. It's actually underweight by 10 to 15%. So your level scoops are probably not what you should be trying to make your pre-workout harness with. You should be a little bit generous with your scoop. So rather than going, your full level scoop, you should be going a reasonably rounded scoop like that to get your appropriate scoop weight. Infamous MassiveJoes takes and mixability test about to go down. I'm actually going to follow these directions down to a point. So it says here, mix 2 scoops with 8 to 12 ounces of water and consume approximately 15 to 30 minutes prior to working out. Well, I'm not about to go work out, so I'm not going to follow that part of the directions, but I'm going to take 1 scoop and I'm going to hit that amount of water bang in the middle. So I'm going to go 1 scoop and I'm going to go 5 ounces of water. That's our double wall glass with 5 ounces. And we're going to go nice rounded scoop in there. Drop this bitch in this bitch and let it rain, let it rain. Few flicks of the wrist. Let me show you guys how this harness mixes. I'm gonna refresh my memory on how this harness tastes, man. That's enough. As you guys can see, It mixes pretty well. There's no float. There's a couple of bubbles actually. I'll tell you, I must have mixed too vigorously. There's a couple of bubbles on the top there, but there's no floaters. You can see that there are, there's a few sinkers in there. You are going to get, a little bit of settling down the bottom. That being said, it does mix pretty well with a spoon in a glass. So I'm going to go so far as to say blender ball is not required for this arms race harness. Let me refresh my memory on how this bombsicle flavor tastes, man. The cool thing with all of the flavors across the harness is that they're not super sweet and they're not super strong. The flavors are actually pretty mild and really quite pleasant to drink. Even the bombsicle, which is, probably supposed to be one of the stronger flavors, is really quite a mild flavor. So it is really quite a pleasant pre-workout to drink before you're about to train. If I had to rank the flavors, me personally, I think tart candy strings is probably the best of the 6, then pineapple mango, then bombsicle, then raspberry sorbet, then Venice Beach. And for those of you who are wondering what Venice Beach is, it's a sweet watermelon with a dash of cucumber flavor. I know it sounds weird, but it's actually pretty damn good. And then finally, you guys know I don't fuck with citrus, so the lemon rush is gonna be my 6th and least favorite flavor in terms of the effects. Because that's what you're taking pre-workout for. You guys don't give a fuck if it tastes good, tastes bad, so long as it's drinkable. You wanna know about the effects. Let me go through them from the top real quick. Muscle pumps, improve blood flow. Obviously, the effect we're looking for there is muscle pumps. They are exceptional, but they fade very quickly. So you get really, really good muscle pumps with the above clinical dose of citrulline and the Vinatrox in there. But as you'd probably expect by looking at the formula, they don't hang around for very long. So your muscle pumps are 30, 45 minutes, amazing, and then they fade pretty quickly. Muscle power is very good. Obviously, full clinical dose of Elevate ATP. You're gonna move that lightweight like bags of feathers, baby. Muscular endurance, also very good. Full clinical dose of beta-alanine is gonna get that done for you. Energy, mental focus, feeling of well-being, and increase in mood is really where this harness comes into its own. That combination, that synergism between those effects is absolutely world-class. In my personal opinion, probably one of the better, now that I give it some real thought right here during this raw review, unscripted as always, I would probably put harness when it comes to that synergistic feeling of energy, mental focus, feeling good, increased well-being, just that what you really are taking a stimulant-based pre-workout for. I'm gonna put it in my rotating top 5 of all time, to be completely honest with you guys. It is absolute world class. And the fact that they're able to achieve that just with caffeine as the stimulant. There's no other stimulant. There's caffeine anhydrous and the Zoom XR extended release caffeine. It's just caffeine. It's really exceptional that they've been able to achieve a rotating top 5 world-class synergism of energy, mental focus, feeling of well-being, and mood just using caffeine as the stimulant. But it's the absolute truth. Side effects. Now this is where I got to dive into this caffeine situation here, because we are dealing with here, guys, in a full 2-scoop serve, which is what I just spoke to you guys about when it comes to all of those different effects that we look for in pre-workouts, complete stimulant-based pre-workouts, and how well harness ticks those boxes. We are dealing with 350 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous in a full 2-scoop serve, plus another 75 milligrams of the Zoom XR sustained release caffeine. So no matter how you cut it, 425 milligrams of total caffeine is a fuck ton of caffeine. Way too much caffeine for me personally. So most of us are not going to be able to take the full 2-scoop serve. We're gonna need to be able to find the sweet spot. For me personally, it's about 1.5 scoops, which is gonna get me 320 milligrams of total caffeine, combine the caffeine anhydrous with the sustained release caffeine. That being said, it really doesn't feel like that much caffeine. And I think this kind of really ties into what I'm talking to you guys about when I say the world-class energy, mental focus, feeling of well-being, synergism. It definitely doesn't feel like you're getting that much caffeine. It just feels really, really good once you found that sweet spot. For me personally, 1.5 scoops. What I recommend for most of you guys is start with 1 scoop and then work your way out from there. Go from 1, maybe 1.25, 1.5. If 1.5 still is not doing it for you, 1.75. And those of you stim junkies, maybe you want to go the full 2 scoop serve. In terms of stackability, guys, it's obviously going to stack best with stim-free pump formulas. You don't want to be stacking harness with any other stimulant-based pre-workout formula whatsoever. There's enough fucking stimulants and mental focus ingredients in there. You just want to look for stim-free pump formulas to stack it with. Obviously, Arms Race Nutrition do make a stim-free pump formula. It's called Daily Pump, and harness stacks pretty much perfectly, legitimately perfectly, with Daily Pump being made from the same brand, of course. If you're stacking it with a stim-free pre-workout as opposed to a stim-free pump formula, so stim-free pre-workouts generally have ingredients in there for mental focus and mood, you just want to be a little bit careful of overdoing it with the choline and the huperzine A, and to a certain extent the tyrosine as well, because a lot of the times there's a little bit of a bell-shaped curve when it comes to these ingredients. You take a certain amount, you take a little bit more makes you feel really good, a little bit more makes you feel really good, you take too much and you feel like shit. So I would just be really careful of that if you are going to stack it with a stim-free pre-workout as opposed to a stim-free pump formula. My personal advice is if you are going to stack it with a stim-free pump formula that's just going to enhance those pumps, make those pumps last a little bit longer, maybe boost some muscle volume in there as well. What does it compare to on the market? Guys, I picked 2 products that I think probably compare best to harness. On one end of the scale, I've got Redcon 1 Total War. On the other end of the scale, I've got America Labs Red, White, and Boom. Starting with Total War. Pumps are very similar between these 2 products. Probably the pumps with Total War last a little bit longer, courtesy of the addition of a full clinical dose of agmatine in Total War. The power in Total War is not as good as harness. The endurance in Total War is very similar to harness, coming from a full clinical dose of beta-alanine, no surprises there. Mental focus and feeling of well-being in Total War is pretty much non-existent. The energy in Total War and harness is very comparable, but Total War drops you a lot harder than harness is. Harness, you really, unless you're going 2 scoops plus, you really don't feel any sort of crash whatsoever. There's really no dumping of energy, whereas Total War tends to drop you pretty damn hard. In terms of price and value for money, Total War is $10 less per tub in the Australian marketplace, and you also get 10 more full serves per tub, so it is much better value for money than harness. But when you put the 2 products next to each other, harness is arguably a much more premium, much more complete stimulant-based pre-workout. On the other end of the scale, America Labs Red, White, and Boom. Pumps are very similar. Power is very similar. Endurance is very similar. Mental focus and feeling of well-being in Red, White, and Boom is not as good as harness. Harness is rotating top 5, world-class, top 5 best of all time when it comes to energy, mental focus, feeling of well-being. Energy in Red, White, and Boom is more intense and hits you a lot harder, but it definitely is not as well balanced as that energy synergism you're getting in your harness. The flavors also in Red, White, and Boom are a little bit sweeter and a little bit stronger than harness. Same price, same serves, same value for money. Who is harness best for? To round it out, guys, this is definitely an advanced pre-workout supplement. It's not a pre-workout that I recommend to first-time pre-workout users. It's for experienced pre-workout users. And really, it's for those of you who want a complete high-stim NHTFS, which for those of you who are unaware stands for Not Here to Fuck Spiders, complete stimulant-based pre-workout supplement. Price and value for money in the Australian marketplace at this point in time, your 40 scoop and the 2 scoop per full clinical serve, so 20 serves, let's just go 40 scoop tub of harness. In the Australian marketplace, $79.95 at this point in time. It's $2 per scoop. Obviously, if you're taking the full 2 scoops per serve, it's $4 per serve. If you're like me and you take 1.5 scoops, it's $3 per serve. It's a top shelf price for a top shelf pre-workout. Guys, if you're in the market for a not here to fuck spiders, complete stimulant based, covers all bases pre-workout supplement, you gotta go get yourself some of this arms race harness. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the Massive Joes YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on whatever device you are watching this raw review on so you don't miss a beat. When it comes to the Massive Joes YouTube channel, all of these new raw reviews and everything else we've got going on. Guys, that is Massive Joes raw review on arms race nutrition harness in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the Massive Joes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.